Thanks for being a part of In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. As always, take a look at these studios. There's nothing better. And here we are again. And we have Lou Anarumo. Lou Anarumo, he was struggling. The defense was struggling. Injuries. The coach is only as good as players available to him. I mean, you can come up with all kinds of schematics and everything else, but you don't have enough bodies to execute. Or down the stretch in the fourth quarter, if those bodies are worn out, you're in trouble. Right now, he's got his players back. He's got a rotation of 4 defensive tackles, 4 defensive ends. He's playing multiple guys in the back end. Not playing as many linebackers. I mean, Pratt and Wilson, they're staples in there. But boy, a lot of guys are getting a lot of snaps, and they are fresh in the fourth quarter, and has made a light years difference. In the last 2 football games, 21 points allowed in 8 quarters, 10.5 points a game. Lou Anarumo's defensive football team is playing very, very well. There's still meat on the bone. They can get better. They have to get better, because this week, here come the Philadelphia Eagles. But they held the Cleveland Browns running backs to 2 yards a carry with Nick Chubb. Excellent performance. Ain't seen nothing yet, though. Here comes Saquon Barkley. Joining us in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. As always, we're coming to you from our phenomenal studios that are provided to us. We've got a great one, a tremendous guest here today. Defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals. None better in the National Football League than Coach Lou Anarumo. And Coach, man, the last 8 quarters, 21 points, allowing 10.5 points a game for the last 2 games. That's going to win football games in the National Football League. Congratulations.
Well, I appreciate it. I really feel like our guys have, settling in, got some guys back from injuries, and I think, we're happy with the direction we're trending.
You're doing a tremendous job of you got 4 tackles in the rotation now, 4 edge guys, and not only up front. I mean, you're getting a lot of guys, a lot of snaps, and if, as the old saying goes, if they show during the course of the week that they earn it and deserve it, why not keep people fresh for that fourth quarter, right?
100%. I think that's the beauty of it, is we do have good depth and, at a number of different positions. So we're trying to take advantage of that and make sure we use those guys. And, each guy has a role, and so far so good. They guys have been accepting what their jobs are and tasks, and we're going from there.
The running game, the Cleveland Browns, was stymied by your defensive football team. Carries by running backs only, 16 carries, 33 yards. Can't do much better than that, Coach. I mean, that they ended up throwing the football 52 times. There's no way the Cleveland Browns want to throw the football 52 times.
No, I don't think any team does. And I'm happy with the way that went. We just got to keep that trend going. It's going to be a very important factor, this week with I think the Eagles just ran for about 280 on a really good Giants front last week. So, we got to make sure we do a great job.
Yeah, Saquon had, I think, 176. I mean, all about Saquon and those Eagles. We'll get to those guys in a second, though. I want to talk about this victory, a little bit more. When you can three different quarterbacks come into the football game to play, what does that do to your game plan or the way you're approaching the game? Or do you just say, the heck with that, I know what I want to do, I know what our guys are capable of doing, that's what's going to happen here?
Yeah, I think, we had a couple of different thoughts. We thought that when Thompson came in that he would, maybe tuck it and run a little bit, and he did, caught us on one. But at the point Jameis came in, it was really just, make sure that, if they were going to score, it was going to take some time. And, we don't ever want to give up any points. But the way it played out, we, ended up being just fine. So we just kept the plan, and we were happy with the results. You
have 2 takeaways by interception. Bengals don't give anything up. You win the turnover battle. You win that turnover battle 2-0. You have a fourth down stop, which is like another takeaway. How big was that fourth down play by Von Bell?
That was a great play. In a big time moment, forcing the bad throw, and Jermaine was in good position as well. So I was pleased with the way that went.
When you look at it, they had a defensive player, Myles Garrett, that deserves a lot of praise. I mean, he's a hell of a football player, but the Bengals controlled his contributions to the game. The story on the edge were your guys, Hubbard and Hendrickson. I mean, they combined for 6 tackles. They combined for 6 tackles. They combined for 3 sacks. Trey has 2 of them. Sam has 1. Trey has 2 tackles for loss. Sam has 1. Trey has 5 quarterback hurries. Sam has 3. You get 8 hurries out of them. Get an interception. Sam has. I mean, forced fumble by Sam. That's a productive day by your edge guys. That's big time.
Yeah, I was pleased. Happy for Sam. Happy for Trey. Anytime we can get those takeaways the way we did, to be honest, I thought Von Bell had one earlier in the game.
Yeah.
But he was great punching the ball out, and they didn't call it that way, but certainly felt like it had a chance to be. But very, very excited about the way we played, and certainly trending, as I mentioned, just trending in the right direction.
Sheldon Rankins is starting to give you some of that inside pass rush that I know you felt like you were going to get from him. I mean, he's flashing now. He's starting to cause some havoc inside.
Oh, definitely. I was glad to see him get his first one with us.
Yeah.
He's a veteran guy who's, again, really works well with the ends in terms of running the games and things. So it's really a pleasure to have Sheldon out there doing what he's doing.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. As a former offensive lineman, I know how important it is to have a feel for, okay, I know my tackle, man, when the end's penetrating, I know he doesn't want me up close to line. I know he wants me back a little bit because we're gonna zone this. But in this case, we're going to man it so I can creep toward line of scrimmage a little closer. All those little things that you only accumulate that knowledge by repping with guys and getting familiar with guys. Now that you have everybody back, 4 inside on a rotation, 4 outside, and they're starting to generate that kind of comfort, that kind of good feeling about each other, sky's the limit, isn't it?
I think so. I think that, as you mentioned, the more they work together, the more they're out there practicing, we feel like the better we'll be. And you can see they're starting to become a more cohesive unit, finally getting settled down when it comes to the injury bug.
Your 2 inside linebackers, Pratt and Wilson, continue to be tackling machines. I mean, they combined for 23 tackles in that football game. Also, they had a quarterback hit. Pratt has been doing his thing. He's always around the ball. He's all about the ball. There's no doubt. And Logan Wilson, man, he comes downhill and makes plays on people. There's no doubt.
I was happy for, I thought Jermaine played one of his better games, certainly physical and had a bunch of tackles. Logan been consistent all year. And, you throw Akeem in there, Davis Gaither, who gave us a handful of plays and did really did a nice job for us as well. I'm pleased with that group.
So everything that you felt like you needed to get done defensively against the Cleveland Browns from when you put your must-haves on the board, you check pretty much all of them off, Coach, after that kind of performance?
Yeah, I think, we probably would have liked to have a couple more third downs, and then don't like them getting on the scoreboard there late in the game. But, when it came to what the goals were and how we were going to win the game, we knew that, Chubb was going to be back and he'd be the last one to run out of the tunnel and the place would be going nuts. But our special teams did a great job of settling everybody down by returning the opening kickoff for a touchdown. And then we were able to get them off the field on that first drive. And, we started rolling from there.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, 12 seconds into the football game to have a 7-0 lead, it's like, lost the coin toss. We're going to receive. That's good. That's good. And Darren Simmons had that little adjustment in his kickoff return that paid big dividends. I bet he was like, oh, man, I'm going to be able to show this kickoff return adjustment right away. And Charlie takes to the house. That's just phenomenal. How about your red zone play, Coach, defensively in this 2-game stretch? It's been pretty darn spectacular. And you actually haven't let people in there very much.
Yeah, we certainly would always like to buckle down when we get down low, when a team gets down there. And it's something that we always say that if they're going to get down, we got to make them kick field goals, and our guys really ratchet and tighten down when we get down there.
So let's move on. You got 2 in a row now. The defense is playing at a very, very high level, and you're getting snaps to a lot of people, keeping people fresh, all that good stuff. And I guess it looks like, I know you don't have that medical degree on your lapel there, Coach, but it looks like Geno Stone avoided catastrophe potentially. I mean, I don't know. I guess there's going to be more pictures taken or whatever, but he was standing there when those game balls were given out, and hopefully that tibia is not injured too badly.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I'm hoping that we dodged the bullet there. Looks like we did, but we'll see how the week goes. But certainly happy that nothing happened to Vaughn or Geno.
So how well is that tandem of veteran safeties playing for you? What are they giving you, Coach?
Yeah, I'm pleased. I think you saw Geno's ability to go take the ball away. Vaughn had some big plays yesterday where rolled Jordan Battle in there for another 20 some odd snaps yesterday. So I think it's a good balance of what we got going on.
So let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, the next opponent. New York Giants, the Bengals know the New York Giants defense is legit. They're pretty darn good. The Eagles hung 28 on them. In so doing, they rushed for over 260 yards, ran it over 50 times. Barkley had 176 yards in his homecoming week there in New York. Obviously, a big key is stop that run. Hurts only had to throw the ball 14 times, I think it was, in that football game.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. And that's who they are. They're built to run the ball. Their O-line coach, Jeff Stoutland, another fellow Staten Islander.
There you go.
Been there forever. Does a great job with their O-lines, as everyone knows. But, they run the ball 45 times yesterday for 6.0, 269 yards. And as you mentioned, only had to throw 15 passes. So, we can't let them get in that mode because they're good at it.
Yeah, I mean, they're averaging 6 yards a carry or 5 yards a carry for the season as a team on 201 carries. Barkley's averaging over 6 yards a carry on 108 attempts. And the thing about, as I'm looking at the Philadelphia numbers, and, numbers can kind of slant things a little bit, but sometimes they don't lie. And you see all these different guys with explosives. I mean, Barkley's got a 65-yard touchdown. Brown has a 67-yard touchdown. He's averaging over 20 yards a catch. He's only got 16 catches, tied for third most in the team. But they must be that play action run, and then boom, hit him over the top. He's got 3 touchdowns? Has he been killing people on that?
I mean, he's certainly been a big part of what they do. They get you to play up close to the line, and it's the old formula of get you up there close and then try to get it over the top of your head with, play action and things like that. They've got great players on the outside, and certainly, they've got great weapons up front to run it. And, so overall, they're, as we know, they're a really good football team, really talented. But, we'll be up to the challenge when Sunday comes around.
There's no question. I mean, Goddard's got a catch of over 50 yards. Smith, the other receiver, has a 45-yard touchdown. I mean, the beat goes on there. One thing that has impressed me about your football team, Coach, a bunch of guys had a pass defense in this last football game. 6 different guys have an interception for you this season. That's a tribute to, playing a lot of guys and those guys knowing what the heck they're doing.
Yeah, I think so. It was happy. Sam went up there and got that thing like he was getting a rebound, which was fantastic. So I was pleased for sure. We're going to keep as I mentioned earlier, we're going to keep using those guys, the groupings that we've been using. The more guys that can play, we just feel like it only helps our whole team.
When I look at the Philadelphia Eagles, I know you don't have to worry about the defensive side of things, but their 2 interior defensive tackles are full-grown men. And you mentioned that offensive line. I mean, Lane Johnson's been around forever. The left tackle is a monster. I mean, 6'8", like 360, I think they list him at. So he's more than that. Dickerson at left guard's a good one. I mean, they lost Kelsey, which was a blow, but they moved Cam Jurgens inside there. They put Becton at right guard from the tackle position. They're pretty solid up front, aren't they, Coach?
100%. You know, we feel, as I mentioned to you, they've always done a great job with their O-line. They've always done a good job with those guys, moving them around and making sure if somebody gets hurt, they got, you know, a guy that can come in and certainly, you know, fill that role. But you know, they're a good, well-coached football team, and you know, we're excited for this.
So finish it up with this. You've played against football teams that have mobile quarterbacks, and it's kind of like a 1-2 punch in the running game. I mean, Hurts is that kind of guy. He can hurt you with a design quarterback run. He can hurt you by improvising. He's rushed for 4 touchdowns, and Barkley's rushed for 5. What about that 1-2 punch, and what about defending Hurts and Barkley in the running game?
Yeah, it's you know, as you mentioned, they both can hurt you at any point if you're not careful. So, you know, Saquon's always been a guy that, you know, like any great running back, you got to make sure that, you know, you're getting multiple guys around him to tackle him. That's what we did yesterday with you know, Chubb, and that's the only way you get these great ones on the ground is there's a few hats to the ball, as they say.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Coach, Chubb, his longest rush was 5 yards. And you guys did a great job of not letting him get ahead of steam, man. He's making his first cut behind the line of scrimmage, no worse than at the line of scrimmage. And you guys had a bunch of hats around that around Chubb. That was extraordinary. Coach, you're on a roll, man. 8 unbelievable quarters by your defensive football team. You put them in position to win, and they've taken advantage of how you set them up to make plays, sir. Congratulations.
I appreciate it, Lap, as always. Thank you very much.
Have the best day you ever had and put together a good one, sir.
Will do. Take care.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realize self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
King.